The Red Mirage is what they're calling it. Exclusive. Dem group warns of apparent Trump election day landslide. A top Democratic data and analytics firm told Axios on HBO it is highly likely that President Trump will appear to have won, potentially in a landslide, on election night, even if he ultimately loses when all the votes are counted. Why this matters. Way more Democrats will vote by mail than Republicans due to fears of the coronavirus, and it will take days, if not weeks, to tally these. This means Trump, thanks to Republicans doing almost all of their voting in person, could hold a big electoral college and popular vote leads on election night. Imagine America, with its polarization and misinformation, if the vote tally swings wildly towards Joe Biden and Trump loses days later as the mail ballots are counted. That is what this group, Hawkfish, which is funded by Michael Bloomberg and also does work for the DNC and pro-Biden super PACs, is warning is a very real, not a foreordained outcome. So here's what they're saying. They're calling this scenario a red mirage. We are sounding an alarm and saying that this is a very real possibility, that the data is going to show on election night an incredible victory for Donald Trump. When every legitimate vote is tallied and we get to that final day, which will be someday after election day, it will in fact show that what happened on election night was exactly that, a mirage. It looked like Donald Trump was in the lead, and he fundamentally was not when every ballot gets counted. And here is the red mirage that they are saying. 15% of vote by mail ballots daily. So I guess what they're saying is on election night, Trump's going to win. As they're saying here, Trump could hold a projected lead of 408 to 130 electoral votes on election night. If only 50% of the vote by mail ballots had been counted. Once 75% of mail ballots were counted, perhaps 4 days later could flip to Biden's favor. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is going to be a very highly contested election. Mark my words on that one. And no matter how it goes, I don't think either side's going to concede. And as we've seen, they're actively pushing for Joe Biden to never concede. I think the mail-in voting, in my opinion, I don't think it's necessary. At least mass mail-in ballots. Now, if you want to request a mail-in ballot like you do with an absentee ballot, I think that is perfectly fine. But just mailing ballots to everyone on the voter rolls, that just seems absurd. I mean, so I live in an apartment, and I guarantee I get people's mail all the time. Other people that lived here, I guarantee you, I will get mail-in ballots. And depending on how you validate those mail-in ballots, I could fill them out myself and mail them myself under the guise that I am whoever this other person is. And as we've seen in other news, there are operatives in New Jersey whose job it is to solely to collect ballots and forge them. We've seen it. I don't think that I don't know how you could sit here and say that it doesn't open it up for fraud. And I understand if you are in a vulnerable age group and you don't want to go vote in person, you should 100% be able to request an absentee ballot. I mean, Fauci himself, in all his wisdom, has come out and said it's okay to vote in person. I mean, obviously, precautions will have to be put in place at voting centers. Same way they did with grocery stores. A line to go into the grocery store, a line to go into the voting center. I mean, wiping down ballot boxes and other things that people use. It doesn't seem, you know what, they don't seem to be taking the security and legitimacy of the election to heart, some of these people. They're more concerned with winning and getting Trump out of office, which I think, unfortunately, a lot of Americans are agreeing to that. You know, vote blue no matter who. And you can hate Donald Trump. I personally don't really like him that much, but you can't delegitimize the election just because you don't like who the president is when he was duly elected legally by the country. He is the legal president. Whether you agree with that or not, he is the president. So we've got another article here. Trump leads Biden at the bookies amid surge in Black American support. The trend we have been noting for the last week has accelerated overnight, and the streams have crossed. And the average bookie now seeing it more likely that President Trump wins the 2020 election than Joe Biden. This huge swing comes as Summit News' Paul Joseph Watson notes that the results of a new national poll revealed that a stunning 28% of Black Americans plan on voting for President Donald Trump. The Atlas Intel poll finds that Biden leads Trump nationally by just 3 points, but the real story lies in the percentage of Hispanic and Black voters who told the pollsters that they will vote for Trump. According to the survey, 28% of African Americans say they plan to vote for Trump, a stunning figure. 29% of Black Americans also approve of the job Donald Trump is doing. This compares to 2016, when Trump attracted 8% of the Black vote, while Hillary Clinton captured 89%. Joe Biden is down to 66% of the Black vote, according to the poll. And, people may say, oh, well, that's baloney, right? That's not true. They're lying. They're not lying. A lot of the Black friends I have concluded the same thing, that a majority of the Black male vote is going to go for Trump. And it's solely, they don't think, not that they think Trump has done a great job, but solely to punish the Democrats. And I think it's important that those of us who are registered Democrats, such as myself, open our eyes and realize that the Democrats do not represent our best interests. And it's not to say that Republicans do either, because obviously, if you're a Democrat, if you believe in progressive ideals, then they don't, obviously. But it's important to know that the Democrats are never going to listen to you. If the Democrats are never going to listen to you if they know you have to vote for them. Think about it. Perfect example. Vote blue no matter who. They don't care what you want. Look at what Joe Biden is running on. How is that progressive? What is progressive about that? These people, they don't care what you want. They may act like it, and they may pander to the progressive liberals, but they're not. Is there really that big of a difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Let's be realistic here. There isn't. One could argue that Donald Trump is anti-war and he wants to end wars, which he has tried and failed. He has tried to withdraw from Syria, which, if you remember the news cycle, he was viciously attacked for that for some odd reason. He's tried to pull out of Afghanistan completely. That was curtailed by Congress, Democrats, and Republicans, making it so that he has to meet certain requirements before less than 5,000 soldiers can remain in Afghanistan. He helped conduct the peace deal between the Americans and the Taliban. And these are important things. I think that we have seen, whether successful or not, we have seen that Donald Trump is more anti-war than the last two presidents. I think that would be a hard one to argue against, although he has sold billions of dollars of armaments to Saudi Arabia, who are actively committing a genocide in Yemen. I don't approve of that, to say the least. I'm a very anti-war myself. But I think you know what you're going to get with Joe Biden. You're going to get more of the Obama years. It's going to be the same thing. Constant drone programs, constant attacks. Just more of the status quo, right? no wars are going to end. Maybe we'll get into some new ones, but none are going to end. It's never going to happen, unfortunately. And so I think it's important to remember when you go to vote, remember what you're voting for and the party that you're voting for. I personally can't see myself voting for any Democratic candidate. I think they need to be punished because they're never going to listen to you. They're never going to give you what you want unless they know they have to earn your vote. So that's just my opinion. I'm just a regular dude on YouTube here. So take what I say with a grain of salt. But remember, think about it. If they don't care about you, why would you vote for them? Just think about it in that sense. That being said, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Do you plan on voting for Donald Trump, Joe Biden? Where does your alliance lie? And until next time, I'll see you in the next one.